Get ready to dive deep into Buffalo's vibrant music scene because we're stepping inside the fabulous Flamingo Lounge for the 9th season of local music magic. In the Flamingo Lounge with Rockabilly Greg is more than just a podcast. It's a collection of stories that delves deep into the vibrant musical history of Buffalo and Western New York, creating a living archive where each story adds a unique thread to the overall narrative. This season, we're taking a deep dive into the heart of the music community. Join us for personal conversations with musicians and industry pros, where we celebrate the collective creativity that makes our favorite artists, venues, and events so special. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, CatsLikeUs.com, Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, and valued supporter Buffalo Ironworks for helping to keep the music alive. The Spin Wires are a 4-piece outfit from Buffalo, New York, delivering a high-energy fusion of punk, dance rock, new wave, and garage rock. Recently celebrating their 10-year anniversary, the band has released 4 original albums and seen their music licensed across major platforms, including the Showtime series Shameless, CBS's Player Style Files, and various PlayStation and Nintendo titles. While they are serious about their craft, the Spinwires never take themselves too seriously. That sense of fun is the heartbeat of their recordings and the defining spark of their live shows. It is my honor to welcome to the Flamingo Lounge, from the Spinwires, Tyson Prince and Jay Organek. I got that right, Jay?
You nailed it.
Perfect. All right. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
So, yeah, I was saying, when Tyson came down, he's like, hey, how did you find out about us? And I said, well, my buddy Lauren Harvey over at the Amherst Chambers said, hey, you should have these guys on. They're really great. So I'm like, sweet. So I love hearing about bands that I'm not familiar with. So I appreciate you guys coming down. And for everyone who is listening, if I haven't heard, that's how if you want to get on, just give me a call and we'll make it happen. So
yeah, no, we're grateful to Lauren for making that connection.
Yeah, it's that's how it's Buffalo, right? It's the 1 degree of separation everywhere you go.
Everywhere.
I don't think
with
there's
everyone.
Yeah. I don't think there's 6 or even 2. I think it's just 1.
Yeah.
So
we were just chatting before that, I scrolled down the podcast list and I was like, know them, played with them. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You really know everybody. So it's great.
So, well, as I mentioned off air, I always like to start the show asking everyone, did you have an aha moment where you said, music's what I want to do? And Jay, we're going to give you the start.
Sure. Yeah, we can start with me. I was actually just thinking about this the other day. I do have an answer to that.
Okay,
no,
cool.
I actually do. So I was in, and I'd played guitar lightly for a couple of years, just kind of messed around. My brother had played guitar, and there was one in the house, so I would pick it up and play from time to time. But no, it was actually when I was in 9th grade. I remember one night I found a copy of The Last Waltz.
Oh.
The band The Last Waltz. And
right.
I remember thinking, well, I don't watch a lot of concert movies or anything like that, but I'm like, there's a lot of people in this. I know all these musicians really well. I put it on and I sat there and I remember the beginning of Don't Do It. Very beginning. It's the last song they played, but in the movie, it's the first thing that, it's Scorsese. He put it up front as the last performance. And I remember it just clicking. It was just watching the bass, or listening to the bass come in, just thinking, Rick Danko's up there doing his thing, and just thinking, I want to do that. It was, this is real for me. And I just sat there the entire night just watching it. As soon as it ended, put it right back to the beginning.
Wow.
Watched it through again. That was it. I knew I was going in some way, shape, or form. I was going to be playing music.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I am on the board of the Sportsman's Americana Music Foundation. Of course, we put on the Last Waltz every year as a fundraiser.
I recently heard about this.
Yeah.
I haven't been. And
the cast it's all local guys. They recreate it right down to every note. It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't remember the guy who does the Neil Diamond part, but oh my gosh.
Wow.
You close your eyes. All of them are the same way though. I mean, it's just
close your eyes, you dry your eyes. Yeah.
It always sells out too.
Yeah.
So I mean, people listen out for it.
Incredible.
Because we sell out within. I mean, we don't even have to market it. Everyone's like, "When's this tickets going on sale?"
Yeah.
So, but it's such a great.
Amazing. No,
great album. Yeah, I've got the album
out,
too, so it's fun to listen to.
And that's another one of my prized possessions. Is I ended up inheriting my dad's copy of The Last Waltz on vinyl.
There you go.
Love it.
So, well, Tyson, you're up.
Oh boy. Okay.
Beat that.
It's I know. Pressure's on.
That's right. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So I think like a lot of teenage boys, fell in love with rock music. A lot of rock bands that I loved. Always sort of interested in figuring out how they did it. Going to live shows, always wanting to do it. And I think what I'd say about the aha moment is the aha moment that I wanted to be part of a band and I was going to make it happen was probably in college. In that I was working at doing an internship at a record label in Los Angeles. It was called 3 Ring Projects, and it had a bunch of I'm not going to use the word has-been artists, but artists that hadn't been successful in a while.
Right.
Like Little Kim and Everlast. And they had hits in the 90s, and they hadn't really had more hits. And so at that time, I thought that I wanted to do music as a career. Like I wanted to figure out a way to make music happen, whether it was at a record label or playing. And after, hanging out with people who, for a living, did the music every day, day in, day out, I determined that I didn't want to do it as a career.
Okay.
I wanted to do it as a passion. I wanted to do something else that was going to make me my money, and I wanted the music to be the outlet for it, right? And there was this sort of moment that was like, I don't have to figure out a way to make money from music. I can just love music and do it,
right?
And then that'll be what I'll always want to do. Some people say, if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. But I think what happens sometimes is if you rely on what you love to have to pay the bills, suddenly you might not love it as much.
Oh,
right?
I know. Yeah.
And so there was this moment, like it was like the last day of the internship. It was like, I don't think I want to work for a record label or have to figure out how these people are navigating this stuff. I think I'm just going to do it for fun. And then once that pressure was off, it was like, when I get back to college, I'm going to start a band. And then I did it. And it's been great ever since, just being able to always use it as an outlet and always doing it because it's fun.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what did you end up doing for your day job?
So, I am an attorney.
Oh, okay.
I work in the management of a food company that I've been at for 9 years called Steuben Foods.
I know them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I work in the management over there. We have a little brand called Elmhurst Milk. That's a brand of nut milks that we make. And so, that's what I do as the career, and then meet up with Jay at night to blow off some steam, play some music.
I'm glad you got the nut milk plug in there.
Yeah. Jay, you're also a lawyer too, or?
I work at a tech company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's like, I get now after I've been doing this podcast, LinkedIn, I'm constantly getting barrage from people. Hey, this place is hiring for a podcaster, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's
is that what I really want to?
Yeah, this is my passion project, right? So this is what I do, and I don't know if it would be any fun anymore if I had to talk, especially if I had to talk about something that I don't give a crap about. You know, it's just to be a talking head. That's not what I.
Well, that's I get exactly what you're saying, what Tyson's saying too, in that I remember with my own band when I was a little bit younger before I met up with Tyson and these guys, my earlier band,
right.
I remember we were looking at different options in terms of, maybe there's a small contract record deal, something like that. And I remember just looking through the contracts thinking this is just murdering what I enjoy about this. And that's not to say, look, it's a great career for those that have it in them, that want that path and that fight for that path.
Right.
But it was killing it for me in a way.
Yeah. Well, it's the people always forget the business side of it. You know, I mean, the playing them, making the music and playing the music is only really a small part of the whole deal. I mean, there's a lot of those.
If you're building a career around it,
yeah. And if you're going the indie route, you're doing the bookings, you're doing you're funding your own recordings, the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you get the control, but at least you guys as lawyers kind of, I would say, have a little bit of so you can read a contract and go, yeah, no.
We can really see how they're getting
that
screwed.
One. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, talk to Billy Joel. I mean, he just can't do it. I mean, he's got, how many times has that guy gotten screwed? It's like, jeez, and, but I think, and I've had a couple guys on the podcast in the past that are like, they teach the business of music.
Yeah.
And they have classes around town. So for folks who do want to make a living at it, and you could do it, and there's,
and it's a really good thing. I'm glad to hear that. I love that that's being offered, because a lot of people can fall into bad situations because they're just unprepared.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had when I was with the Hall of Fame, and I think they still have a Jack Yellen Foundation sponsors a songwriting contest, and the prize always was you get to record your song at GCR Audio.
Yeah.
And I remember I can't remember if it was Sydney Aaron Welsh, I think was our first one, and we were talking to her dad, in the studio, and she had a great song, and we had Jerry Livingston on playing bass, and it was just had this great group of Hall of Famers backing her up.
Yeah. And
I don't know if you know Bruce, could be Mosier. Bruce was a promoter around town, and he helped break U2 back in the day, and he's done a lot of stuff, and he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But they were talking to Bruce, and her dad was a lawyer, and he says the problem is I don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Who, because everyone tells me I'll break her, we'll do big things. And he says, I just don't know, so
yeah.
In a lot of respects, I think having it be your passion project, and if you can make a few bucks at it, wonderful, just so you can keep buying toys, right?
Well, that's it. That was kind of our goal, and it has been for a long time. Is if we can kind of self-sustain by doing it, if we're bringing in enough to support what we're doing, then we don't need to stress too much beyond that. That's really,
You pay the studio monthly rent. You buy some guitars. You pay for the promo, and assuming you have a couple dollars left after that. That's great. That's
awesome.
Success to us.
Yeah.
And then, maybe there's something one year, a little bit extra for recording budget and things like that we can expand. And,
yeah. Well, and of course now, look where I am. You can.
Well, that's true too.
You can record.
The concept of a recording budget's a lot smaller than it used to be.
I never thought 10 years ago I'd be able to, have equipment to be able to do that. It wasn't like outrageously stupid, the cost. So, but. Yeah, we've got so much technology at our fingertips. Then it just gets into knowing which button to hit, when you're recording and the mixing and the mastering and, all that stuff. Because you don't want to put out a bad product too, right?
Right. No, for sure. Yeah.
But so let me kind of jump back. So Jay, you had mentioned you were in an earlier band. So what was your first band? Was it like high school days, college days, or?
So my first band, this is funny. My first band was in high school. Mm-hmm. Jumping back to what I was talking about, my inspiration.
Right.
I found some guys that had already started a band.
Okay.
But needed a bass player. Mm. And so I'd been messing around with guitar for a little while. I thought, guitar, I could probably figure out bass. And so I spent some time working on bass, getting good enough as a bass player that I could approach them and say, can I join your band? Mm-hmm. And, we got together and it seemed like a good fit. So I joined the band. The band I was joining, I wasn't thrilled about the fact that it was a Bon Jovi cover band.
well, they have those, huh? I'm sorry. Got to keep it positive.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're all positive here. A Bon Jovi cover band called The Chocolate Covered Experience. Mm-hmm. That was my first foray into live performance.
Wow.
And we mostly played high school house parties to friends who weren't particularly interested in listening to Bon Jovi. Again, keeping it positive. But in any event, we had a lot of fun. And then did that for a number of years. And then, for high school and went off to college and met a group of guys who were really interested in writing some stuff and doing original music. And and so I was in that band for a number of years. I went to college in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what brought you to Halifax? It's kind of a...
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I grew up in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
But went to college in Halifax. Right. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And met a group of guys there, and we had a good run during college. We were called the Wilderness. And then following college, we all decided. Some of us were from Toronto originally. Others decided to move there, and we moved the band to Toronto.
Right.
And played in the Toronto music scene for a number of years.
Played the Horseshoe and Lee's.
I was gonna say,
we
played Lee's, we played the Horseshoe. Yeah, that's actually one of my like life accomplishments that I'm still proud of this to this day is our album release party sold at the Horseshoe Tavern.
Wow. Yeah. I love that place. It's great.
Yeah.
We just saw JD McPherson at Lee's
at
Christmas. Yeah.
Lee's is an awesome venue too.
First time I've been to Lee's. And I don't know if we've done the Dakota yet. So I guess those three are kind of the main three.
Those like classic.
Yeah. Just good joints, to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. You get some like big acts randomly coming through them too. Of like, I saw the Dead Weather, which is Jack
White.
Jack White and Alison Mosshart. And I saw them at the Horseshoe.
Wow.
And it was this just tiny venue. And it was one of the coolest experiences to see a band like that.
Yeah. That's what I like, for music. I'd rather go to a small joint like a Sportsman's or something like that.
Exactly.
As opposed to the arena,
You get that intimate, like nothing matches.
No, nothing matches. Because usually in a place like that too, a lot of times these guys will come off stage and they'll start
and just have a conversation.
Having a conversation with you, It's like, hey.
I remember in the middle of one of their songs, Alison Mosshart was singing, right from the Kills. She was singing. She stepped back from the microphone and just lit up a cigarette on stage in this bar in Toronto. It was just such like a breaking current social norms thing that was just so cool. It was badass.
That's rock and roll,
it
right?
was so rock and roll. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tyson, what was your first experience with playing with a band?
Yeah. So in college, decided I wanted to form a band, and it was one of those "if you build it, they will come" moments. And so I had to find first thing that when you're starting a band is the band needs a place to practice. And so I got on my motorcycle, started driving around looking to see where I could, because I was living in a dorm room, where I could practice. If there was any place that we could rent or what's going on. And there was a gas station that had been out of business for probably, it was a 1980s gas station, hadn't run since the 1980s, pretty run down. And I wrote the owner a letter and I said, I'd like to rent out your gas station for a band to practice in. And surprisingly, the person got back to me that owned it. It wasn't the only person that I had wrote about trying to find their band and build it in Oswego, New York, that I could rent out to figure out how to have a band practice space. Cool. And they got back to me and they said, yeah, you can $150 a month. You can rent my, abandoned gas station. You just got to get the power turned back on. And so got that place. And then as soon as I had a place where people could put their amps and play, suddenly everybody was interested in hanging out, starting a band. So started a band original band called Dreams from Gin. It was kind of alternative rock band, had a couple original recordings, played out in Oswego, New York during college, had a lot of fun. And we had one tiny little success, which was we had a song called Typewriter in a game called Beat Hazard. And this is going back to, having fun with music rather than making money for music. At the time that the game developer had reached out to me, he said, I'm looking for songs for my video game. And the way the video game worked, and this is early days, this was probably 2008, 2009, when Steam was just getting started. Steam is a video game platform. And it's a shooter game. You're in a spaceship, and the game reacts to the song that's playing. So if a song is playing and there's beats, how you blast goes along with the beats and stuff. Right. So it was very important that he had music that was kind of like hard hitting at points and things like that. And so I said, I'd love to give you the song for the game. I'll do it for free. We want the exposure and everything like that. And so we did that. And then the game went on and it sold over 1 million copies. So in the future, when I made deals, when we made deals to license our song and games, I've always say I don't want any upfront payment. I just want like a tiny little royalty, like 10 cents. And that way, if you make it really, really big, we can buy some pizza too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun playing with that band. And like many bands in college, when everybody's done with college, we all went our separate ways.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. I was gonna ask you about, because I have heard that right now where you can make money in music is with the video games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really I know my son, he went here to Kenmore West, and he was in school with the Death Cab from Cutie guys.
Oh, funny.
And I guess one of the guys wrote a song. He's like, yeah, he sold his song to a video game, and he's good, Yeah. And I'm like, well, sweet.
It's really a blending of I don't know, different artistry, I guess, right? Because being being a video game developer now, or at least in the last decade or so, is very much like being an artist, in that you can have 1, 2, or 3 guys that get together and say, we're going to make a video game and it's going to take us a year or two, and they make it. And some of these games can really take off. And and it's very an indie spirit, in the sense that they're making their game and they're like, well, we don't have any music or anything like that, but I like rock music and I like indie bands. So I'm going to, I'm going to reach out to people I like, or I'm going to have a post online about how I need music and things like that. And so we have, on a number of different occasions, licensed our music, and I can get to that later, in a bunch of different video games. And in some cases, I've actually reached out to other bands because I've just been in touch with certain video game developers. Like a racing game is a perfect example. A racing game needs radio stations for the car. Right. And if you have radio stations within the game, well, you're going to need like 60 or 70 songs so it doesn't get repetitive.
Right.
And so, you reach out to different artists, and usually indie artists are more than happy to, they're not going to want thousands of dollars for their song to be in the game. They're willing to do something more reasonable. And so there was a game that I worked doing the music supervision for Super Toy Cars Off-Road, and just reached out to maybe 30 or 40 different bands all across different places, different genres and things like that, to create these radio stations. And it was a great experience. And like you said, it's a way to get out there. And in some cases, some bands can make some pretty decent money, or make it through that kind of avenue. So
yeah. Well, you do the residual thing, right? It's like, how many times have you read? It's like, we did a big. I remember hearing the woman who did the voice for Wilma Flintstone.
Huh.
She could have taken when she stopped. I guess she took a lump sum, or you get a residual. She took the lump sum, and everyone's like, "Boy, I mean, she missed out big time." On but you never know.
For how many years that show continues.
Yeah. I've had. I was fortunate enough. I met Dick Grapes. He was the last surviving member of the Buffalo Bills Barbershop Quartet, and he told me the story of how he didn't go to Broadway in the 50s to go and be part of the show. He says, I couldn't get a dispensation for my job, so I had to stay back. He's, my boss. He says, I was a salesman for a paper company. He says, if you leave, I got to replace you. I just can't. He says, we didn't know if this thing was going to be big or not, and of course it's it's huge, right? And he says, but I don't regret it. He says, I had a family. He says, I had to make the choice, and God bless the guys that were able to go. He says, but I got to go down there and go backstage and
it's
and all that kind of stuff. And
no, it is wild, the difference.
So it's you just never know what's going to hit, right? If everyone did, I mean, everyone always gets, porky around February when, the Beatles could have been in Buffalo the day after the Sullivan Show. And, a couple local, DJs were, had an opportunity to bring them. And they're like, but you guys don't understand. It would have been like $20,000 out of pocket. It would have been 3 months prior when no one knew who the Beatles were.
Right.
No one knew.
It's always easy
to say.
No
one knew they were. Yeah.
Take the risk.
Yeah.
After the risk.
Yeah, exactly.
After the opportunity's gone. Yeah.
Elvis came to Buffalo 3 times. I mean, did that blow Buffalo off the map? No. I mean, it was cool that he came, but but it's like, no, it's. But you never know what that shit, right? So anyway, I digress. So so kind of coming back. So how did you guys get together with Spinwires?
That's a you story.
Okay. So I'll give the history of the Spinwires and how we started. So, as we mentioned earlier, we're attorneys. But before we were attorneys, we were just young, plucky law students. And I was at a beer Olympics, a party, like in law school.
As one does.
As one normally does. You're playing beer pong and whatever other, very important sports one should be playing.
That's right.
And there was another individual who was a law student named Joe Grasso, and he came to me, and it turned out we both, I thought the kid was from Long Island, and I didn't know how cool he was until he told me he liked Rancid, and so we bonded over the band Rancid, and he talked about how he was a drummer, and I was like, oh, well, I played guitar in a band in college, and we should start a band. Boom, there you go. And so got the drummer.
One of those rare conversations at the Beer Olympics that holds the next day. Is that
you actually remember it? You're like, I wasn't just making that up. And so we, the very next day we were like, okay, we got a drummer, we got a guitarist. Great. All we needed is a bassist. And so we were at JP Bullfeathers, and there was another law student there who I didn't know, but a friend of a friend knew, and he came up to me, out of the blue and said, hey, I heard you're getting a band together. I want you to know I play drums. I said, RJ, I already got a drummer, so I don't need a drummer. He's like, that's okay. I play guitar too. And I said, well, we already got a guitar player. And he said, I'll play bass.
He got McCartney.
And that was it. And so we played as a three-piece for quite a while. After a couple of years, Joe Grasso had to go back to Long Island. And then we picked up our Aaron Walco, who also was an attorney and was a law student, knew him through my girlfriend, now wife. Mm-hmm. He plays drums. He's been playing drums with us for 10 years now.
Wow.
Over 10 years. And then 7-8 years ago, we saw Jay performing at a Lawyers for the Arts event, and we just said, we got to figure out, you just had a great personality, tons of energy, and myself and the other two guys said, we got to figure out how to get him in our band. We got to convince him how to do it, and,
right.
and luckily he was stupid enough to do it.
Their big pitch, by the way, was, hey Jay, do you want to come play some music with us one night? Just try it out. Beers are on us.
I was going to say,
yeah,
beer,
okay.
Right?
You had me at beer.
Yeah. And by the way, we're drinking beers right now.
That's right.
And that's really what it's all been about. And what's been great about it is it's like a friendship. It's never felt like anytime you go to practice, I got to go to practice. It's like you're hanging out with your friends, you're making jokes, you're playing music. And I think that's why it's lasted so long. It's so fun.
Yeah.
So it's been a good group of guys. And so we started in 2013. It's now 2026. So
right.
I mean, we're at about 13 years. And it's been good.
Yeah. You mentioned Lawyers for the Arts. I was going to ask, since you guys are all lawyers, if you are participating in that, which is an awesome event.
I love that event.
God bless you guys for raising money for the arts.
Yeah, no, I'm on the steering committee for setting it up.
Very nice.
Okay. It's a lot of fun, and it is honestly unlike pretty much any other event I've been to, at least around here, right?
Yeah.
Where it is everyone, there's obviously a lot of professionals in the room, whether you're talking about musicians or career, attorney professionals, everyone just kind of steps back, lets loose. Really, you see different sides of people that you don't see in everyday life. There's a ton of talent, and just the whole concept around it is giving people a chance to perform who, in their day-to-day lives maybe don't get that chance.
Right.
And it ends up raising a lot of money for a really good cause too.
Yeah.
So
which is I know, because when I was on the board of the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame, we got $1,000 from that grant to help. And the nice thing is, I know that the money goes through the Art Services Inc.
Yes.
And it's for anything that a nonprofit can use, which I think is nice, because most people don't give grants for general operating expenses or to go out and buy a new computer or stuff like that. They want to do programming. So you guys afford, especially smaller, nonprofits. It's this $1,000 will go a long way to help us get some office supplies or just whatever we need to keep our doors open, so.
Exactly. It's easy to put restrictions on funds and tell someone what they can use it for, but if that's not what's keeping the lights on at an organization, then,
right.
Yeah.
Which is great. So good for you guys. Kudos. So it's it's cool. I always have something going on that day. So, cause I think it's usually in March, right?
Usually.
Yeah. And I do some shows and some stuff for some other groups, but
no, it's
I'll get
nice.
there one of these days.
It's nice to have something to look forward to in March too.
Yeah,
that's my take on it. Is
especially March.
March around here is yeah.
You've been holed up with the snow and everything.
You're looking for something to do, but it's not nice enough outside yet. And
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take this time because we're about at the halfway point.
Sure.
You guys got a lot of original tunes. So I'd like to play an original tune and talk about it. Give a little bit of a background of the song. We'll play it and give everybody a taste of what you guys. I was listening to your stuff before you came down, and I dig it. It's It's good stuff. I
Awesome.
mean, I love when you said it's kind of new wavy. I mean, I'm an '80s guy, so I like the new wave stuff, obviously. But
Yeah.
What song you had sent me for? Which one do you think we want to give a start? Oh, and we'll play one at the end too. So.
Sure. Yeah. Tyson, any thoughts?
Let's do Slam Van.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me a little bit of background about this song.
Yeah. So Slam Van. So I drive a minivan. I've been driving a minivan ever since I've been playing in vans.
Okay.
Right? You got to have a van. I drove a truck for a while,
Right.
and I was playing in a band, and it would get wet,
Mhm.
and so that's no good. And so, I was with RJ. We were roommates. RJ's the bassist,
Mhm.
and we had to go somewhere. I can't remember exactly what, probably pick a beer or something like that. And so he just said, "To the Slam Van, ride it again." And it just caught on. And then within about 2 minutes, we had written this song.
Cool.
It's, I think right now, the top song that we have as far as, data and metrics on Spotify. It was featured twice in the Showtime So Shameless. So there was a police chase scene or something like that, and they played this song in the background. And then there was also like a recap of another episode they gave where it played for about 1 minute and 17 seconds while they were talking about like what happened in like last week's episode or something like that.
I like how you said about and then gave the most specific amount of time. 1 minute and 17, roughly 1 minute, 17 seconds and 14
17.2
milliseconds.
seconds.
Yeah, right.
1.21 gigawatts. So that's awesome. So now that's like your own like mystery machine. Then it's like
Yeah, to this day.
Yeah,
do you got logos and stuff on there that say Slam Band?
Not anymore.
I was gonna say we
Some
got
big dents.
Yeah, a lot of big dents in there. Well, I'm on the 4th minivan at this point.
Oh, okay,
so,
there you go.
Yeah, there's
So-
been a few Slam Vans over the years, but we
Yeah.
still, I don't think we go to a show without loading up the Slam Van
No, you
gear.
gotta-
So
There you
have
go.
yeah.
All right, I love it. So let's all give a listen to Slam Band by Spinwires.
My daddy gave me the keys one day at home. He said, with this van forever, you shall roam. And that's when I knew I could get out of this place, because the van was my ticket to space. In the Slam Van, riding again in the Slam Van. Tell all your friends in the Slam Van, riding again. And when we got to the moon, we didn't know what to do. And so we found some girls and we found some booze, but their skin was green and their eyes were blue. And baby, that's when I knew I didn't know what to do. In the Slam Van, riding again in the Slam Van. Tell all your friends in the Slam Van, riding again. In the Slam Van, riding again in the Slam Van. Tell all your friends in the Slam Van, riding again. Just slam in the van, you better make a plan, cause you're not the first man to cram in the van. There are fish in the sea, but clams in the van. Put your pole in your hand and grab a beer can. It's no sham, it's like Peter Pan. Throw a girl in the van and come to never ever land. You can jam in the van, you can cram in the van, you can even take a man in the van. Everything you've ever done is always less than. I never had a 6, but 2 5s make a 10. When I say red-blooded, I mean American, but I want the whole world to come in my van and blast off, cause you can. Come in the Slam Van, come in the Slam Van, come in the Slam Van, the Slam Van, the Slam, Slam, Slam. Come in the Slam Van, ride it again in the Slam Van. Tell all your friends in the Slam Van, ride it again. Ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it. In the Slam Van, ride it again in the Slam Van. Tell all your friends in the Slam Van, ride it again.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I can dig that. I could see myself in college dancing to that song.
Yeah.
Sonny's. I went to SUNY Fredonia.
Okay.
Sonny's or BJ's. It's like, yeah, that's got that vibe. Just
And I think that's kind of a goal a lot of the time we write music too. It's like, what is something we'd want to move to that would actually
Right.
just kind of get us going?
yeah.
It's all about energy, and I think just about every song is all about whether it's happy energy or angry energy. It's just like loud energy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's I love it. That was yeah. I'm gonna have to. I bet you my wife would like that too. I'll have to play that. Now, because as you can see, I have physical copy around here. So is that available on an actual physical CD?
Yeah,
or?
we do have physical CDs. It's been we technically do have physical CDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I got to get my hands on that. So
Yeah.
We're not on vinyl, but maybe like for the greatest hits someday.
Right.
To,
well, you know what?
yeah.
I will say, and I was a vinyl snob for a little while, as you can see. I like my vinyl, but I also collect CDs because, as I mentioned when we were off air, I collect local recordings.
Yeah.
And there's in the 90s,
Sure.
no one was making vinyl in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to collect
whatever you were
whatever
hearing,
it
wherever
was,
you were,
I had to get a CD. And but now, I mean, vinyl's gotten
that's
pretty pricey. I mean,
yeah.
you want to buy a brand new, vinyl record, they're between $25 and $40.
Exactly, easily.
Whereas
40,
you can buy a new CD for $10, $15.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy who's a sound engineer, and he's like, I gotta tell you, Greg. He says the sound on CDs are better than vinyl, and especially for I think music that you guys are doing because it's got a bigger range, and you can get that because as they always say, vinyl smooths the edges.
Right. And that's you're not.
You don't want to smooth the edges on your stuff.
Yeah,
right?
you're not putting our stuff hoping for that warm crackle of a needle drop.
No. No, exactly. Yeah, it's you want to get that real crunch to it. And,
exactly. The edge is supposed to be there.
Yeah, I know. We mentioned. I know Grosh. They came out with a new record a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've got both. They were nice enough to give me both a CD and a vinyl record.
Yeah.
And I said, I gotta tell you, I like the CD better. Because it's got that crunchiness
There's
to it, because they're rock, right?
Right.
So it's just got a little bit more of that edge and that rawness to it. I love that rawness.
Yep.
When it comes to music. It's
no, I agree. It's funny because I tend to default to thinking of vinyl as the sound I want. Like I love putting on a record at home. But you're right. I think it does depend what you're listening to.
Yeah. It's a big thing. I mean, you get more into jazz, and I think especially smooth jazz. I mean, a record's going to be. Just gonna have that warmth.
The warmth.
Totally. And have that real nice. And I've even said I have a Taylor Swift record, it's on CD and vinyl, and they're two different things.
Right. I can see that.
They
absolutely,
are.
especially the more like acoustic-y kind of.
Yeah.
Well, what about cassette tapes, guys?
Yeah, I got some of those. I got some of those too. So
no, I don't know if that's still a thing, but I remember 5 years ago, it was like, all right, like cassette tapes are coming back. Like that's the way to release.
I just saw that. So the Strokes came out with a new song the other day because they're coming out with a new album this summer.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just saw the way they first released their new single before launching it on, streaming platforms and everything. Right. They picked 100 people from their fan club and just mailed out a cassette tape of that.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started seeing bootlegs coming online that people had uploaded, and then they released it.
I don't know if I have a way to play it.
That's
if my house. I'd have to go out and figure it out.
This is awesome. What do I do with it?
Yeah. I just went and bought I got a little, almost like it's not a Walkman, but it's just a little cassette player that I can plug into the computer and stream through my system. And, because there are some local bands who are like, our first record was a tape.
Was on tape.
But it was early 90s, right? So, but I said, wait until everybody gets tapes and all these young kids and they got to get their pencil out and
to rewind
it and
tighten up
I mean, the sound was great, but but it's,
And that's also a way, I mean, thinking back, that's, one of the ways you really started seeing people do bootleg home recordings, things like that as well, was because you could just stick a recorder in the corner of the room and play it. Yeah.
I just bought, I had a local guy and his name's Jerry Kranitz. He lived here in Kenmore, and I think he's down in Ohio now. And he just wrote a book about the mixtape. Yeah. And about, in those younger days, when we were listening to the radio and you'd pop in your tape player,
just catch the song,
and you'd record stuff.
And they were all most of a song because you'd catch it after it started playing.
Exactly.
So you would have that mixtape. Right.
Yeah. So it's I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but there was
that's cool.
There was and there's something to that too now with music that's kind of you can stream anything pretty much that you can find. Right. Most stuff is streaming. Yeah. And you can get your hands on it, but so you can really discover. And I love YouTube for that because I'll listen to a YouTube and it's like, oh, if you like this, you might like. Yeah. I love those algorithms, and I've found a crap ton of people. I'm like, oh, I just.
Yeah, YouTube is where I find a lot of music. So I don't know if it's sad to admit it, but They have a pretty good algorithm, or like, or at least the art, because it's not like a video I'm usually watching. It's usually just the album cover, and I'll see something. I'll be like, it's a fun little art cover, and then I'll find something.
Yeah. It's I'm the same way, and as you can see from down here, like I said, I started collecting records for the artwork. I mean, there was some back in the day. There were great. I mean, Asia had Roger Dean. You had Frank Frazetta did all those great Molly Hatchet records, and Milton Glaser did Harry Chapin, and he did the famous Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
A piece that was in the Greatest Hits album, and so Hirschfeld had I think he did an Aerosmith album. And, how many Ninas were on that? It's just so many great, and that was the whole thing. Is back then, if you were able as an artist, to get a gig doing a record album, that was like the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then they went to CDs, and they went so small. It's like the art kind of.
So it's funny actually. So my my college band that I was talking about earlier, the Wilderness. We decided we recorded it was an EP, but we called it an album. But we recorded one. That's the one we ended up releasing at the Horseshoe Tavern that I mentioned earlier.
Cool.
And we did a vinyl version of it.
Oh, cool.
And we spent so long thinking about the art for that vinyl version,
right?
That we put so much detail, not just the cover and the jacket, but also like the insert and everything. But we also, it was the time where we wanted CDs as well, so we had a bunch of CDs made up, and it looked so weird. We used the exact same art, and it looked so weird and dinky on the CDs compared to it's
now. What was the name of that? Because I have to get my hands on a copy of that now, so I'll be going to Discogs as soon as you guys leave the room.
Good. It is .272 by the Wilderness.
I love
if you like new wave stuff. That's it's definitely.
Well, like
not
I said,
wrong.
I went to college 82 to 86, so new wave was that was the thing. You could say I'm a Stray Cats fan, right?
Yeah,
so,
no, sure. That's
MTV was my gig back then, and all those great new wave bands,
Yeah, we're very kind of like synth heavy dance rock, kind of Ian Curtisy vocals, and that kind of vibe.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I know. And then my wife now she's a synth pop chick, right?
Yep.
So she's Depeche Mode and The Cure and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you don't know about. I said, I know about those bands. Said it's not my cup of tea, but it's I've seen some of those bands live though, and they're totally different live than they are.
I'm sure that's
recording.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode. I've said this a gajillion times. They're so produced.
Yeah.
And you see them live, and I'm like, man, you guys got it going on. I told
like
my wife.
It gives it room to kind of breathe. And
exactly.
Actually,
I said, boy, if they would just stop playing with the toys, right? And just let the music be the music. But I've had people tell me, but they're like, no, Greg, if you've got an idea in your head and that's what you want to do, then that's what you're going to do for your song. You're going to serve the song the way you have it. Right, the way you think it should be. So I'm like, okay, I can understand. I can agree with that and understand it, but I would rather have the grit,
right?
Exactly, and have a couple, have the feedback like the Beatles did.
Yeah.
Give me that feedback. Give me the mamas and the papas when Denny comes in too soon.
You're actually getting that raw, that natural progression of it.
Yeah, because that's how you know when you see people live. It's like, they're not lip syncing.
That's true. It's true. Yeah.
And I love when bands do, especially like on Saturday Night Live, when they'll like say something in the middle of a song. It's like, okay, because they're basically saying, we're not lip syncing.
Right, when they actually talk and it comes through. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now you guys have been together for 13 years. So now do you play mostly local, or do you guys get outside of Buffalo to tour?
It's mostly local. I'd say, in the past we traveled a little bit, Rochester, Syracuse, things like that. But I think mostly stick around Buffalo. We've got a show coming up May 16th, 2026 at Cole's. We're going to be playing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Different, mostly local venues. Mr. Goodbar, we play there at least 4 or 5 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
The Porch Fests we play, little outdoor festivals, and it's just sort of like, here and there you'll get an email. Hey, can you play this this fundraising show? Hey, can you play this little festival? Hey, we've got this or that going on, and so different venues and stuff like that. So mostly around Buffalo, though.
Yeah.
So,
which porch do you have a specific Porch Fest that you guys latch on to, or because there's so many of them now?
There are, yeah.
We do them all.
Yeah, no, okay.
So we started with Elmwood. We started with the
doing
Elmwood Porch
for
first, and we've been playing with at Bidwell for the past 5 years straight on Peter Grump's porch with Part-Time Genius, who's another Buffalo band that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
We've just been having such a great time playing that porch every time that we've done it. And then we launched off from Elmwood Porch Fest, and of course every little town is having, not a little town, but every town is having their own Porch Fest. So South Buffalo Porch Fest, Kenmore Porch Fest. Maybe we'll do the Lancaster Porch Fest this year. I don't know. The applications haven't opened. Like, I like playing outside. I don't mind playing for free. So it's fun. It's just a fun little thing to do.
It is fun. And the South Buffalo Porch Fest has really gotten quite big as well.
Right.
And that's a lot of fun. And Kenmore over the past couple of years has become a really nice, fun one to play as well.
Yeah, I will be featuring the Kenmore guys on,
awesome.
on the podcast.
I'll
be doing a live show with them out at the Kenmore branch library. So,
cool.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So awesome. being a Kenmore, well, Tonawanda, Kenmore, I think I'm on the border, so close enough.
We the last couple of years we've played the I don't know if you call him the founder or the guy that organized it. We played his porch. So at the Kenmore Porch Fest.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Eric, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it is.
I'm terrible with names.
I know.
So.
I know. Yeah. Forgive me if I see you guys out in 3 months from now, and I'm like, I've met so many folks doing this. You know, it's like I feel so bad because people are like, Greg, how you doing, man? I'm like, I don't remember your name.
But yes, if it is Eric, great guy, great porch.
No, it's which kind of. So I mean, you mentioned you don't mind playing for free, right? I mean, you go into those things knowing that it's a free gig, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Porch Fest, not a problem at all. Of course, the other bars and stuff like that. It's always nice to get a little bit of pizza money.
Yeah, and if we're playing a bar or a venue later in the evening, that might be a paid gig. But generally, if we're playing outdoors at a porch, it's
right. Yeah, but you're able to pick and choose and say, I'll do this for.
Oh yeah,
because I know every now and then on Facebook you get the argument with the musicians who are trying to make a living.
Of course,
do I do a paid gig? Do I do a non-paid gig? What's
That's an interesting point. I'm going to go into a diatribe here right now. And this goes back to maybe what I opened up with about, music for a career, music for fun. And so when it comes to performing live, there are venues that, like, of course, they pay well. And so it's great to play at them. But absolutely, usually if somebody reaches out and they want us to do a fundraiser, if they want us to do a nonprofit thing, we play for free. And same with the Porch Fest, we play for free. And then even occasionally, if someone's just like, we want to have a party, will you play? And like, if it's outdoors or it's fun, we're like, yeah, okay, sure, we'll just do it.
As long as there's beer, right?
Yeah, the beer part, that's an important part. The beer part, right?
We do accept beer as payment occasionally.
I mean, secretly in my heart, and I don't want to like admit this, but like secretly in my heart, every time we get paid and we walk away with like a big stack of cash, I'm like, I can't believe they paid us to do this. Like, it's like a secret. I'm like,
how are we getting away with this? We get to do that, and
I cannot lose.
That's
this
right.
Is awesome. So, but
edit that part out.
Yeah.
We like getting
to the slam band.
So, but also wanted to talk about Creative Commons in the way we release our music too. Sometimes is when we release our music. This is going to go into a little attorney thing here. You can release your music as all rights reserved, which basically means you can't use our music unless you pay us for it and ask permission. We release our music in such a way. It's called Creative Commons CC, like license 3.0, which essentially says, as long as you're not using our music for profit, you can use our music in any way you want. And so therefore, if you're making a YouTube video, or you're got a, something else you want, like a project or something like that, you want to use it for, and it's not making really a ton of money or anything, you can use it totally for free. And by doing that, not only do I like it because it's just nice to see who likes your music and who wants to use it, but you show up on all sorts of random YouTube videos and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. So
we've had people reach out to us even with like, I'm a college student and I'm doing a project and I'd really like to have just your song, Slam Band in the background while like I am putting this on for my class. Is that something we can do? Well, yeah, of course. We love that. Yeah, get it out there. And that's, like, you don't need to pay us for that. We're happy to share it. Yeah.
But it gets back to your debate that you're having, because it's like, if everybody's, if there's these people giving things away for free, And there's other people like, well, if you give it away for free, like it's harder for me to charge. You know, if I'm looking at 5 bands and, you know, band 1 is charging $1,000 a song to use as and licensed in a small indie video or something, indie movie, right? There's indie movies all the time we'll get, you know, requests for. And usually I'll just say, if it's indie, you can have it, right? And then you've got a band that says, no, you can have it for free. Like the other bands, I can understand where they're coming from, right? I don't want to cheapen what the music is, but at the same time, if somebody else has an artistry that they're doing, it's a movie, it's an indie film or whatever, and they're like, well, we're not going to make tons of money on it, or we're not going to make really any money on it, we're just doing it, then it's, take it. It's credit.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not taking it away from anyone else too. If there just isn't money for music in a project, and we're able to give music to them,
right?
You know,
yeah. Because I guess if you want to get paid for it, you're not going to give it away for free, right? So it's an interesting concept, especially now. And I know I'm very cognizant of, like, you know, I asked you guys, you know, do you have music that I can play that you own the rights? Because I'm on Apple, I'm on Spotify, and I don't need anybody. I mean, I self-produce the show, right? So I'm not making any money doing the show. So I don't need someone coming back to me going, hey, you owe me $1,000, right? You know, because you played 10 seconds. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've had a lot of different comments. And, well, you can play 10 seconds. And I've read that, no, you can't. If it's really licensed, you can't play 0 seconds without.
I actually don't know the answer there. Yeah,
what's that?
I don't know the answer.
I think it's a bit of a gray area actually, but yeah, there technically there's not like a safe amount that you can play, but like it's one of these gray areas where if you are below 10 seconds, you can argue that you know, I'm not playing the entire song. Really? It was educational. I was simply, you know,
for education purposes, right? Quote unquote.
Yeah.
I know, like I mentioned it, you know, I had someone on talking about the Buffalo Bills Barbershop Quartet, and I was fortunate. I did a show with Mr. Grapes, and they did a video with him talking to another barbershopper about his whole story and how he couldn't go down. And the person that did the video, and she ran it at the beginning of the show when we performed Music Man. And she had a couple tunes that they had recorded that were not public domain. So I looked up, because I have all their recordings, and I said, okay, I got to find public domain songs. So I don't take that risk. And I even get to the point where I don't even like pulling photos off of someone's Facebook page.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they have a copyright or something, a tag on it, you know, it's like, no, it's like,
that's not,
I like to be at least respectful to ask, you know, hey guys, do you mind if I use this? And if you say yes, then it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. And I even got to the point where I had a plugin put on my website. You can't right click anything on my website and pull it off. So it's all protected, because I had someone pull a photo off that I had gotten permission to use, and they didn't. And it ended up on Facebook, and I was embarrassed.
Sure, after you had gone out of your way to get permission to. Yep.
Right, and the person said, they're like, it's okay, you know, we get it, but.
Yeah.
So that's when I went to, you know, where I work, you know, did the website. I said, hey, I heard that there's this right click plugin.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even. Well, I have the shows on the BuffaloHive.com every week too. And Elmer Plotz, he's like, what'd you do, man? He says, I always would go on the site, and he'd get the copy so he could republish it on his site. I said, sorry, I'm going to have to send that to you now. So I have to remember to send that every week instead of, I said, but I want to be cognizant to everyone I've had people give me photographs. I've put digital flip books together, and there's all this content on there that, if they want to do screen captures and all that, there's you can figure out ways to do stuff, but it's like,
and there's what's that saying? Locks are designed to keep honest people out, right?
Right.
That's
So what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're getting close to the top of the hour. Yeah. Believe it or not, it's been fun. We got to play another tune here, but before we get to, before we kind of wrap up with the last tune, any last words of wisdom, or any big shows coming up, or anything that we need to know about?
Next show being May 16th. Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, no, I would just say, Porch Fest is the next time we're playing. Elmwood Porch Fest is, it's just always a good time.
Right, yeah.
I would absolutely recommend, whether you're seeing us or not, get out there, see some live music, because it's a really, just a good day.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather cooperates. But at the end of that good day, we're playing in the evening at Cole's. So
okay.
If anyone's got some energy left at the end of the day, they should definitely come have some drinks on the back patio and hear us play.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So let's wrap up with another. Well, before I get into it, though, because one thing that I did not put in the bio at the beginning, you guys also have a great catalog of cover tunes that you do.
Yeah.
And we, Tyson, you and I had a little conversation about the cover band versus original. And unfortunately, Buffalo's not the biggest original band followers. They like to go and listen to a song, have a beer, sing along, free bird. And, but you guys but you have some different stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're not doing like the same old.
Yeah.
It seems like that everybody else is doing.
Yeah. So, we were chatting earlier that, we have about 90 minutes of original music, but I think we just love playing and we love performing, and cover music is a way to
it's playing with your beard into the microphone.
Oh, okay. Cover music is a way to play at a bunch of different venues and to connect with audiences in ways that they might not want to connect with you on original tunes. And so we'll do, The Killers, Franz Ferdinand, Fall Out Boy, Blink-182, White Stripes, Neon Trees, a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We just Walk the Moon,
Strokes, yeah, all kinds of stuff. And we just kind of sneak our originals into the mix.
There you go.
Really what we do.
Yeah.
And hopefully people enjoy them before they realize they're original.
Right.
And then we got them. That's
got them. Well, hopefully, and then they're like, yeah, that's a cool tool work. Yeah, exactly. I get that.
Exactly.
Right? So
yeah, right.
That sounds like this. So, so let's play one more tune here before we wrap up. And what do you want to end up with?
I'm going to defer to Jay on this one. Jay, we have Into the Night and we have Goodbar Good Night. Which one?
Yeah, that's a tough call. Let's do let's do Goodbar Good Night.
Okay.
Because it is I'd say it's more different from the other one we listened to from Slam Van, and also because it celebrates a venue we love in Buffalo here.
Right.
It's funny. I'll say we write our songs a number of different ways, and it depends on the song. Sometimes it'll just be with Into the Night, another song of ours, that was one where I think I was just messing around with a riff on my guitar, and we started to build a song around it, and we didn't know what it was about. And our drummer just, heard the riff and was like, oh, that one's about werewolves.
Right. Okay.
And we're like, all right, well, I guess we got to write some words about werewolves now. So that one just kind of became about Into the Night. It's it's kind of werewolf themed. But then there are other ones where Tyson will sit down on his own, and maybe you can tell this better than I can, but just thinking about all the fun nights we've had playing at Mr. Goodbar and thinking, you know what, that's kind of a whole vibe that we want to turn into a song.
Right.
So he sat down and came up with the lyrics and the concept and brought it to us, and we just helped kind of build a song around it. So
that's awesome.
That's what this one is.
Yeah. Well, let's cue up Goodbar Good Night.
Disappear. It started with a single beer. Late at night, it just starts to feel alright when the girls hug the boys with bloodlust in their eyes. Shots 3, 4, 5, it starts to come alive, but the night is young and trying to survive. Oh yeah, Mr. Goodbar is such a good night. How did I end up here? Our bodies drawing near, adrenaline kicks in gear. It started with a single beer.
love it. I love the sound, and
Awesome.
it's kind of gets into like, how do you describe your sound?
Yeah,
because
tough.
it's very unique. Well, I mean, you can hear a lot of different things in it, but
right. I mean, I think it was I think it was Quincy Jones that said, if you pick your 10 favorite artists and copy them all exactly, you have just found your own unique sound.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? You take pieces of everything and you build your own. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
but I can see why. I mean, that's party music. I mean, that's
Yeah.
You're in a bar.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Is we design it around just having fun.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
really...
I know. Like I said, I mean, my buddy and I, we're not going to go to Goodbar and play Simon and Garfunkel.
Sure,
that's just
it's not
the
not
audience,
the room,
man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong room. Exactly. So no, thanks for sharing your music, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for coming down and telling your stories. It was that's good stuff.
It's a lot of fun. Thanks so much for having us.
You're welcome.
Great,
I really enjoyed it, and thank you, Lauren, for letting me know about Spinwire. So
Thank you,
again,
Lauren.
I learned so much about bands that I've never heard of before, and I hope everyone who's listening, who may not have heard about you, can go out and check you out. Check out those Porch Fests, and go to Cole's and Goodbar and everywhere else you're playing, and get some good, have some fun.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Get a beer, have some fun. So,
and that's the whole point of it all, having fun.
Yeah,
that's what
having
the music's
fun.
about.
Yeah.
So we love you, Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's right. So for everyone who's tuned in, thanks for tuning in. We hope you've had just as much fun as we have. And of course, you can always find the podcast where you get your podcasts at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, thebuffalohive.com, YouTube. And of course, you can always find the podcast at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. And I'll have some extra links and photos and some stuff there for everyone to enjoy. And of course, find out where you guys are playing next, and get those links out there. And again, Jay, Tyson, thanks for coming down. It's been fun. So, and to everyone who's tuned in, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. In the Flamingo Lounge is made possible in part by CatsLikeUs.com, your online store for authentic vintage clothing and accessories. Buffalo Ironworks, an intimate live music venue and bar located in the Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo, and by Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, Western New York's premier golf course, restaurant, and banquet facility. At the Hawk, the bar is hopping year-round with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and some other nights, too. Tune in for a new episode every Saturday at 9 a.m. EST at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. Bark, Zoe, bark. Good girl.